Welcome back, everyone. As you know, I'm Corey, and this is the 1 Year Later or 1YL podcast. This is a podcast show amplifying the voices of people taking adversity into their own hands, changing their world and the world around them. And today's special guest that we have for you all is my friend, Anna Burns. Anna, what's going on, my friend?
Hi, how's it going?
Oh gosh, I'm so thrilled to have you on here. Number one, Anna's the most interesting person, one of the most interesting people in my life. So I'm excited for people to get to know you. But also, we just literally haven't caught up in a while, so everyone's just gonna get to witness us hanging out for a second.
I know, I miss you. I'm
I
so
miss,
happy right now. It's good
I
to see
know,
your face. Your
I'm
smile is the best smile on earth.
Anna.
I'm
Stop already. You're gonna make me cry at
gonna
the
make you
beginning.
cry. Yeah,
Oh
that's the goal.
gosh. Okay, guys. Well, as you all know, this show is not about accolades, but I'm going to tell you some really cool, fun facts about Anna before we get started, so you have some context. Where I met Anna, we were actually working on a mutual project together, where she was the videographer, got to travel around for a summer doing gymnastics camps together. In that time, learned that she had a fun, growing up age group career in gymnastics, and then she shifted and did diving at the University of New Hampshire. And all the while, she decided to pick up a camera, and she got really great at doing fun, cool, talented things with video cameras and cameras. She's traveled the world, she loves the outdoors, and she grew up in Maine. Yes, people live in Maine. And
Uh,
she grew up in Maine, and now we have transported her to California. And as of today, she is an official California driver's license person.
yep, spent my morning at the DMV.
Hey, we're happy you're
Exciting
here.
stuff.
It can,
I'm happy
it
I'm
can
here too. I'm happy I made it out.
honestly, it can only go up from the DMV.
Exactly. You start your day 7 a.m. at the DMV and it can only get better. So
Exactly, exactly. Well, Anna, as this show talks about, we're going to talk about 1 year later. So the first question that I have for you: can you paint a picture for everyone where you were 1 year ago, both physically, mentally, emotionally? What were you doing?
oof,
What was happening in your life? And then as the conversation progresses, we'll kind of figure out how we got to where you are today now sitting in California.
cool. Let's see, it's April. I was 1 year ago sitting in Durham, New Hampshire at the University of New Hampshire, living in my college apartment with my one of my friends because I refused to accept the fact that my semester got canceled, so I decided to still live at school and finish school in the physical space that I was. I was super sad because none of my friends, a couple of my friends were around, but obviously it was deep, deep quarantine and I had just lost my senior spring and I was bumming out hard finishing school
Yeah.
and just watching a lot of was is I think let's see, April. This is Tiger King time, that
Yeah,
time of quarantine,
it's total
deep in
Tiger
it.
King. Yeah.
Yeah, we were watching Tiger King and we purchased Disney Plus and just were yeah.
You're living your best life amongst a
Living
pandemic.
yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, we were making the best of it. It was just me and my one other friend, and we just went for a lot of really long walks.
Yeah. Yes, that is the truth. I haven't actually talked about my walking habit through quarantine, but I went on so many walks. Like one day I think I walked 8 miles because I just kept taking phone calls, catching up with people, and
For
happened to be
sure.
walking around my community while I was doing it.
Oh, absolutely. I think it was honestly fun because I went to that school for 4 years, and I think going on all those walks, I found places I'd literally never been before.
Yes, that is
But
awesome. That's so
but
cool.
yeah.
Okay, so remind me, did you get to finish your diving season?
Yeah, so I did. I was lucky. We had our conference championship, which we won.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
heck yeah. Of end of February. So I think it was 2 weeks
Okay.
before NCAA closed down because we had a couple girls who qualified for NCAAs, but their NCAA got canceled. But as far
Okay.
as I went, my last meet was conference and I did get to finish it. So that was
Okay.
lucky for me. I got to
Okay.
put a bow on that part of my
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, for sure. but I do know that like everyone knows you were working in the video department at University of New Hampshire doing some pieces for them and highlight videos and things of that sort. So you rode the wave with all of the gymnasts that lost their season and different sports on campus, and so you knew what that was like. But then fast forward a couple months after Tiger King and after whatever was happening April May in April timeframe. um, if I remember correctly, you guys didn't get a graduation. It was like it was
Right.
you finished school, but then there was kind of like these options of like what graduation could look like if you wanted to come back and walk, or like what was going on. So like tell everyone about that, because I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people can relate to like virtual graduations no matter what year in school they were
Yeah.
at.
So, I mean, what's kind of funny about ours, I'll give UNH credit. They kind of like waited until the very last minute. Wait, sorry. There's so much construction outside. I feel like I
I
should
can't
close the
hear
door.
I
Okay,
can't hear
great.
any of it. Yeah.
Great. Um, so yeah, so they really like tried hard to still have it for us. Like they kind of
Okay.
waited until the last minute to cancel, which I don't know, I appreciated it. I was like, I know you're trying. Like
Yeah.
but so yeah, so we had a virtual one. What was kind of interesting actually is I still had to finish, so I majored in journalism and my internship was just my job on campus. They like let me
Oh,
use what I was already doing.
yeah.
But a component of that to make it qualify for my internship and earn me credit was I had to make some sort of video that I kind of directed and concepted all on my own.
Mm.
And I had an idea for that. It was this kid, he was going to do this crazy um, in New Hampshire. He was going to surf in the morning, bike to this mountain, climb the mountain, and then bike back to campus. And so I was
Mm.
going to follow him through that day. That was going to be really cool. Obviously, COVID happened. That couldn't
Mhm.
happen. So I still had to figure out what I was going to do. And I decided to make a video. At the time, it wasn't going to be like specifically for graduation, but it was going to be
Mm.
kind of an acknowledgement of the seniors,
Mhm.
and what we had lost, kind of how much we loved the school, all of that stuff. And so I ended up making that, and it was a letter. I wrote like a letter kind of with some options, and then I sent it out to our 700. I don't even know how many people were in my class. Probably 2,000. Wait, like 2,500 people, I think.
Yeah.
I
Feels
sent
right.
it out to them, and I got like 300 people's voice memos reading that script. And so then I spliced it all up and put a bunch of pretty campus footage to it. And they actually ended up using that as the key point of our virtual graduation,
Oh
which
my
was cool.
gosh.
Yeah, which was cool for me because obviously a lot of people were watching it, but it's also kind of like funny because I was like, I made my own graduation video.
You did. You did.
Um, so I was like, who's making a video for me? Like, it was, yeah, it was kind of funny. So that was actually really special. And they like acknowledged that in the ceremony. They like said that I made it and it was cool. And it was kind of like a good way to like kind of leave a stamp.
Yeah, for
So that was
sure.
my graduation. We did that and we watched it. Me and my friend watched it on our porch and drank some champagne. And that
Heck
was
yeah.
that.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, the question of the century with that video though is, did you send in a voice memo to yourself?
Okay, I don't think I needed to, but at the last minute, my boyfriend Chris, he was staying at our apartment. I needed one word or something. I made him record the word for me.
Perfect. Perfect.
um,
So
but
don't no one needs to know that one of those people weren't actually a UNH senior at the time graduating.
yeah, he was a class of 2019, but we don't need to talk about that.
We don't need to talk about that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So obviously, like your end of your college career didn't happen the way that you wanted to. You had your eyes set kind of in the future already, knowing that graduation would have eventually come. You know, the internships and the job searches and the every all of that sort of stuff was looming in your 2020 2021 year anyways. But can you like identify a couple of the challenges that you have faced in the last 365 days that potentially someone can relate to, or can like hear from you, and then we can talk more about like what the turning points were to get you to where you're at now, which is in my opinion super cool.
Thanks. I think. the biggest one is obviously just stuff getting canceled and like the uncertainty and not knowing. I mean, like for me, like I had an internship out here that I did end up getting to do, but there was so much uncertainty around it. But I still had to figure out if I was going to be moving across the country to do it. So that was really hard, just like uncertainty, and then just uncertainty all year with like work and projects that need to be like figured out if they can even happen because of COVID, etc.
Hmm.
It's like a combination of that, and then also just like still being like a little bit sad that I never got to say goodbye to like a lot of my friends at school.
Yeah.
Um, so I would say that those are the two big ones. And then I mean, obviously just like moving to a new place in the middle of a pandemic's hard. You can't make a lot of
Hmm.
friends right away. It takes a while and there's not as many like fun things to do. Luckily all the things that I like to do are outside and like a
Yeah.
distance from people anyway.
Totally.
But yeah, a lot
Totally.
of I feel like a lot of the fun things that make LA really cool, we haven't really gotten to do yet in terms of like going to museums and going like yeah. But I think I think we're getting to the end of it and we've made some friends. So,
I know.
yeah.
Hey, I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Okay, so that's really cool. So now everyone's understanding like you were in New Hampshire, then you went back to Maine for a second, and then
Mhm.
you decided to take an internship in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, that was kind of like in college terms, like first semester of 20
Mhm.
of our fall semester essentially was kind of that time frame.
Yeah.
And it kind of enveloped sports and video and editing and like, but you were kind of also just trying intentionally trying to get your feet wet in the LA kind of space to be able to do some freelancing. And so now you are getting the opportunity after that internship. I remember sending you a text come like January, December, January, and you were like, "Yeah, I have no idea like if what's I don't know what how I don't know." And then all of a sudden this incredible company, can I say it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, this incredible company rises up. For very influential, powerful women athletes led the charge on a sports media group, especially with women's sports called Together. And Anna has the opportunity to do a lot of freelancing for all of the video pieces that they put together. And if anyone knows anything about the platform Together on any social platform that they have, a lot of their content is video and a lot of their content is story driven. And I will tell you what I know of Anna, like that fits her mold so perfectly. And so tell us a little bit about what you're getting to do there and like how you have seen how the last 365 days has kind of like led to this really cool moment of you getting to show your talent, but also get to be a part of a women in sports media group. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, they've been awesome to work with. I actually got connected with them because of Deanna,
Yep,
who
Deanna
you
Hong.
know, Deanna
Mhm.
Hong, she's the UCLA videographer. We've been friends for a while, and she's kind of acted as a mentor as well. And so she actually got hit up for a shoot with them. She couldn't do it, so she passed it to me, which is kind of how a lot of everyone always asks like how do you freelance because like how do you get jobs, and that's kind of
Really?
it's so much like I can't do it, can you do it, like, and then yeah, and then it just
Okay.
snowballs from there. So yeah, so I got to shoot the first shoot with this girl, Chantel Navarro, who we then a whole docu-series was made about her that I got to shoot a lot on and also edit a lot of.
Mhm.
um and so yeah, that was just like through Deanna, I got to do stuff with them, and then it just was going well. And I've been working a lot on the boxing series, and then
Mhm.
we also got to do one episode about Maya Brady, who's a softball player at UCLA, and I did that one with Deanna. That was really fun.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm hoping once this boxing thing wraps up, I'll just get to hop on something else, or maybe work on pitching something to them that I've found. I have a couple stories I want to look into. So
Cool.
yeah, they've been awesome. And yeah, I think through like the internship and everything, I was like, I really love like the sports world, but the entire time I think I've been a videographer, it's been like there's so many guys, there's not a lot of girls doing this, like there's not enough coverage of female athletes, and then like having that in my brain and then seeing that is also in a bunch of other people's minds enough to start a company about it, and then getting to work with them is kind of totally like a manifesting full circle moment for me,
That's
for
so
sure.
sick. That's so cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm sure that like I don't know, like on paper and like what I know about you and your heart, like it like is you. Like what I see and what you're getting to do is like so you. You just care about people so well. Hi Chris. Um
I just went
it's
for
just
a
like
run.
I love it.
Sorry.
it's all good. You care about people so well. You care about the environment is something that I'm always inspired and love to have conversations with you about. But then when it comes to, like women in sports, like we have had endless conversations about the opportunities that women should have and need to have um, to be able to express their gifts and talents in male dominated careers. And that's exactly what you're getting to do right now. And I'm just really inspired by how you're doing it.
Thanks.
So keep it up.
Thank
O
you.
Okay, 2 more questions for you before we wrap this up in, like, the next 5 minutes or so. Um, First question, so we talked about the challenges, but what were 2 turning points in the last year, or 1 turning point, whatever you can think of, that were the moments that kind of brought you hope to get to where you are now? So you were facing challenges, you were getting your internship, you're kinda sinking your hands into something, but not knowing what the future would hold. What were kind of 2 specific moments that you can think of that gave you that hope to be like, "Yeah, I'm, like, gonna be in a position to get to create something really cool with this company that I really believe in."
Mhm. Um, Let me think. I think one of them was definitely our last shoot, with her. We got to shoot, like, her running and stuff, and I get very excited when I get, like, a good shot, um, like, really excited, and I felt like I hadn't and I it was kind of after the holidays was my first shoot back. It had been a while, and
Mhm,
there was a little bit of time where I was just editing a lot, and I was like and I'm mostly trying to shoot, and edit kind of on a secondary scale to
mm,
shooting,
mhm,
and so I hadn't been shooting, and I was kind of, like, discouraged, and then I got hit up to shoot with her again, and we shot her running, and it was just, like, the light was so cool, and something about it, like, the shots were just so good, and I was like, "Finally," like, I feel like, I've got my, like, groove back,
good.
and they were really happy with them, and they just, like, looked so good in the episode, and I was just, like, really excited about it. So I think that was kind of a cool moment where I finally, like, felt like I'd gotten my legs in, like, an LA space because I feel like I get, like, intimidated easily, being out here.
Well, hey, so I mean, that's an incredible one, and I'm gonna actually, like, let that be your turning point, and I'm gonna help paint a picture for everyone. When Anna was on the East Coast, some of the jobs she got to work on were a lot of sustainability documentaries, a lot of I don't know what to call the sailing one. It's like lifestyle, but also just like
It's
it
like
was
adventure. Yeah.
adventure and it was all women. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So she got
Oh,
to do
well,
these.
the surfing one was about a guy, but
That's a
the
sustainability one,
sailing
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So she did one on surfing and it was all about sustainability. Like, I'm gonna totally butcher it, but you guys can go find it on your own. I'll link them in the bottom of this. But like he took Dunkin' Donut straws and like created surf fins out of it.
Yeah,
Um,
he made a surfboard out of Dunkin' Donuts cups, and then the fins were lined with straws. It's pretty cool.
Amazing, amazing. And then also like the adventure of these just recently graduated college students, or were they on summer break, who decided to
They're on summer break, yeah.
hop in a sailboat and like do adventure together. Like
Yeah.
those those were kind of the projects that you were like sinking your hands into, and it really fit your surroundings, right? Like people were needing a videographer to tell a story, and you were able to tell those stories brilliantly. But then, like, the reality of picking up and moving to Los Angeles, where, so many people talk about, like, that's where you go to, like, accomplish the dream. It's where you go to be the actor, to be the model, to do the thing, to, like, have your big break. Like other than Broadway in New York City, like you have your big break in New York City. And in a way, I'm sure you felt a level of that as you were coming to Los Angeles, knowing that it wasn't going to be like favors here and there to help tell a story and then like it just like be a hobby. Instead, you're seeking out a career in it. And amongst the pandemic where it's very difficult to network, it's very difficult to like go meet for coffee with people and be like, can I, grip on your set a couple times just to like get to know how your working style is so I can refine mine. Challenge among challenge among challenge. Here you are finding beautiful shots of people running with incredible lighting in the background that's then getting to inspire women all over the world in sport through this new platform and your freelance opportunity with Together. Like the picture for me is so beautiful, but it also like I know it came with like challenge and just perseverance and belief in yourself to be able to get there. So like how does it feel sitting here now knowing that like despite all of those moments of the last year that probably presented a little bit of self-doubt, you are sitting doing really cool things. Like as simple as that sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to say that it feels like I've like made it or I'm doing so well, but honestly, like I feel like everyone one thing I've learned is like no one has it all figured out, even if like
Yeah.
they seem to think that they do.
Hmm.
Because I feel like I've had a lot of people once the Together stuff started coming out and like some work for some other bigger brands as well, I've had a lot of people message me being like, "Oh my god, like you're doing such cool stuff, like your life looks so cool." And I'm like, just remember like social media is a lie and like um like I definitely have it more figured out than I did a year ago, but I still have like so much to learn and so much
Yeah.
more to do. Um and so yeah, I mean I feel I'm in a good spot. I feel like I did not expect like my first year of freelancing, I mean first 2 months of
Yeah.
freelancing to
Totally.
be as busy as it's been, which has been awesome because that's like the biggest fear of freelancing is not working.
Hmm.
Um and so I'm so happy that it's gone as well as it's gone. But I'll also say like I still have like all the same amount of stress as like anyone else who's doing kind of something a little unconventional with their career. I don't
Totally.
know. I kind
Totally.
of went on a tangent, but
Oh, I love it. I
yeah.
love it. I mean, I was just sitting here like listening to you and like there's so many stories that you and I have chatted about that I feel like people would feel encouraged by and should be told. So like who knows? We should have like a whole Anna Burns series. Like we could talk about Colorado Fellowship,
Oh yeah, that
we
was
could
so
talk about your
fun.
trip to Africa, we can talk about like the sustainability documentaries and like what all the sustainability passions of your
Yeah,
heart
I definitely
are.
want to do more of that stuff. That
Totally.
stuff's so important.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? We could have a whole Anna Burns series coming up. But to wrap this episode of 1 year later up, I'm going to ask you the question that I ask every guest at the end of our episode. And it's a very thought provoking question. So if you need a second, I totally understand. But the
Okay.
question is, did your 1 year ago self believe that you could be here 1 year later?
I want to answer this like honestly, so I'm trying to like really put
You,
myself there.
yeah, hey, I appreciate that. From Tiger King to fre- freelancing.
Mm, I think I think 1 year ago Anna thought, well, 1 year ago Anna did not think this would last this long. So
Mm,
I'm sure that I thought I would be doing some sort of work, but I don't think I expected or thought a year ago that what I would be doing now is so aligned with like my values. I think I
hmm
thought I was going to have to do a lot of stuff just like get by that I wasn't really passionate about at the beginning
hmm
to kind of get to where I want to be and the stories that I want to tell. Um, and I'm really happy that it seems like putting the energy out and the stuff out that you want to do from very early on seems to help you attract that.
Mm.
That's very like law of attraction of me, and I'm
Hey,
not super spiritual, but I think that
sure.
the energy you put out, like you attract that back. And I I definitely just thought I would be not super thrilled with like the projects that I'm on, but I am,
Mhm.
which is really
Yeah,
exciting. So I
that's
just
so
hope that
cool.
it continues.
That's so cool. I mean, I think a lot of people can feel encouraged by that. There's so much pressure coming out of college that, you got to find the job that aligns perfectly with the major or the degree that you earned or whatever it might be. And I think it's important to hear the message I'm hearing from you is that, you know, if you have a desire to align multiple avenues and gifts and talents in your life and be able to express all of them in one avenue that you truly believe that you could do, like continue to put it out there. Like I really believe in
Yeah,
just like talking it into existence and
totally.
being able to just like continue to wake up every morning knowing that although that moment or that experience or that career might not exist on paper right now, like who's to say it couldn't be created? And I think
Totally.
that's exactly your testament of continuing to do that and be able to believe that,
So are
it will
you.
come. Well, thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. You've always been a big cheerleader of mine to be able to encourage me on my crazy ideas and paths of life too. So I'm, like, really grateful for that. So, man, Anna,
Yay.
we gotta talk more, okay?
Yeah,
We gotta
okay. Yes. Yes, we'll talk after this, but
Okay, we will, we will. Well, guys, I hope that you guys felt super encouraged by Anna's story. I know that I am. This was the first time we got to catch up in probably like 6 months or so, 7 months or
yeah,
so. And it's just really encouraging to know that amongst times when the news can be hard to listen to, or you keep thinking that you might be down in the dumps and it's never going to look any better, there's stories of hope that we hear just like Anna's, to be able to keep our heads up and our hearts encouraged to be able to keep chasing the dream and aligning all of the passions of our heart. It's cool,
woohoo.
man. I'm passionate about this. Well, thanks, Anna, for being on 1YL. Really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thanks for
And
having.
of course, of course. And everyone, I hope that you guys got a lot out of this one and that you will get a lot out of the episode tomorrow. As always, we will have one episode every day of the month in the month of April. Who knows what happens beyond that? But until then, we hope you guys have an awesome day, night, exercise, whenever you're listening to this. And we'll see you later. Bye, guys.